There we go. I'm going to share some things that are going to be really, really blunt, and I'm going to share them in the happiest light that I can, because I think that it's just not hard. It's just not hard. And I think that a lot of us make things hard that aren't hard. We look into things as if we have to over-examine. We have to make it tough when it's not. Has anybody ever made something hard when it's not? Yeah. So building a sustainable business takes very, very easy steps to do. Very simple. And step one is to know what you need. Anybody ever made multiple trips to Lowe's during a home project? Yeah. Yeah, every project takes three trips. Well, this takes 3 steps. There are 3 steps: knowing what you need, and those are mindset, skill set, and action. Those are the things you need for this job. You need to have the right mindset to get up every day to do it. You ever had a job you hated? You had to talk yourself into going every morning? You've got to be able to talk yourself into this. You've got to get your mindset where it belongs. I'm not saying you hate this job, because if you do, we need to talk and find you something else. You need the right skill set. You need to know what you're doing, right? And you need to have action. Anybody ever meet somebody that knows what they're doing, but they never do it? I know what I'm doing, but I'm not going to do it. Anybody ever meet somebody that knows what they're doing? And what comes to mind really is a doctor. They know what they're doing, but they've got a terrible mindset. Their bedside manners are just horrible. You want to punch them in the mouth by the time they heal you. Yeah. Yeah. My sister had a nurse when she delivered her first daughter that, man, we're like, why didn't they sue? What, just that lady was horrible, just awful. So all of these matter. All of these matter. And which do you think, and if you went to Ninja this past week, maybe hold off to answer, but which do you think is the absolute most important out of these 3?
Mindset.
That was quick. Mr. Jeff was on it. Mindset. Mindset is the most important, because if you have a positive mindset, you move forward. You can move forward. What do you think the second most important is?
Action.
Man, you guys are on today.
Can't hone skills without an action.
Can't hone skills without an action. That's an incredible statement. You cannot get better if you don't start. I really like the example of the guy that I used to be managing broker of. Every day, he worked all day on his database. Every day, all day, data entry. Every day, all day. I'd rather eat cotton. It's just so boring to watch him. What a tasteless life, what a terrible existence. And he would talk to me about how rich he's going to be once that database was done. And I'd tell him, if you would just get started on the first 10, you wouldn't go broke. You're going to go broke doing this. You need to call your first 10. You need to do something with those first 10.
Have you tracked that guy's?
Yep.
Past 5 or 10 years?
I'm not going to show you his production, but nope.
You scroll down.
Nope. The production is not there. And I guarantee the
He's
data,
not finished with his data.
I guarantee it was never done, because a database is never done. He was entering people he didn't know and just wanted this massive thing, which we know that cold mail, because of the study that NAR did, is a 2,000 to 1 ratio. You need to send 2,000 mailers for 1 transaction. Anybody want to work those odds?
Some people do.
Some people do. What about referrals? What's that ratio? Anybody remember?
Is it like 93% or something?
3-2.
3 to 2, okay.
Yeah. For every 3 referrals, you get 2 of them. Anybody want to work those odds? Yeah. Yeah. So work that database with people that know, like, and trust you. And then you'll be in flow with them. And then they'll use you, because people use people they know, like, trust, and are in flow with. Don't forget that part. Don't forget that part. So first one, mindset. Without the right mindset, you'll turn people off and never turn yourself on. You'll never get going. And the way we do that is 3 gratitudes. Write your affirmation 25 times. Do a positive reading and exercise. Guess what happens if you don't do one of those? You're cutting yourself short. You're cutting you short. Nobody else. You know why? They'll find somebody else. They'll find somebody else. If you don't put out the right vibe, they'll find somebody else that does. Have you ever, as a realtor, done and said all the right things and still not gotten the deal? I guarantee you it had to do with your vibe at the time. Something was going on in your life, something you hadn't taken proper care of, and your vibe made them think, well, I like what he said, but it just didn't work for me. I don't know why. I don't know why it didn't work for me, but it didn't. Terry Johnson talks about that. She went to the largest listing appointment of her career and said and did all the right things. And the person that referred her to them talked to her, and Terry said, what happened? I felt like I just did a bang up job. I felt like everything I said was right. And her friend said, it was. They said, you seemed so sad. And she was. Things going on in her life. She was so sad. And that vibe came out, and they said, we don't want a sad realtor. Do you? Will you sell my house? Yes. Eeyore doesn't cut it. Eeyore doesn't cut it. You've got to be in that performance quadrant when you talk to people. And to get there, you've got to be able to have the right mindset. 3 gratitudes let you know the world's a friendly place, right? Affirmation trains your brain to believe in the things that you want to accomplish. A positive reading, you put good things in, you're filling yourself up so you don't get empty. You exercise, that means that what you do matters. The things that you do matter. You're training your brain to accept that my action matters. So mindset's super important. That's your first thing to do in the morning. This is your to-do list, guys. This is your daily thing. After that is action, your daily work. Without action, your skill set will never come into play. It will never get better because you'll never use it. Skill set, you have a whole team here to help you. Stop delaying. If you're putting handcuffs on yourself because you're not a 19-year veteran broker, you think you have the wrong job. That is not your job. We'll talk more about that. Step 2, create your database by using the 8 in 8. How do you create a database using the 8 in 8? Well, you start with 5 people. You write them a handwritten note, so you have their name and their address and their phone number. That's your beginning of a database. Write them a card. Week 2, 3, 4, and 5, the office sends cards for you. How nice is that? You really only have 4 things to do in a whole 8 and 8. Write a card. Office sends them. Office sends a newsletter. So your 4 things, enter their name, enter their address and phone number, and write them a card. That's 2. 3, do a Ford call. 4, do a real estate review. If you don't know how to do any of those things, what should you do? Yeah, talk to somebody. Find out. Had an agent came in yesterday, sat down with me. We made an appointment for this. It wasn't just a show up. Please don't show up for me to help you. But we made an appointment and we talked about how I do real estate reviews and created a whole lot of clarity. Whole lot. Man, I was making it way too hard. Yep. Yep. What's the point of a real estate review?
Conversation.
Show them that you're a pro. That's it. Show them you're a pro. What's the what has the group found through their tracking on real estate reviews? How many transactions come out of a real estate review?
Pretty high number.
33%. 3 real estate reviews, they tracked that they got a referral or a transaction in some way out of every 3. That's amazing. Those were face-to-face reviews. When they tracked mail outs, what was the number?
Like 1 or 2 in 100.
2%.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. See, we've got this really weird desire to automate all of this when it's already really easy. You know what I'm saying? We're like, well, what if I just blast out 100 real estate reviews and stick them in the mail? Well, know what you're going to get, 2. And if you're good with that, do it. However, if you do 3 a week face-to-face, odds are you'll get 1 deal a week out of that. Which do you want? Like the other one doesn't make sense to me, but if it does to you, okay. Okay. Do 100 a week and send them out. Get it 2 deals a week. Do 50 a week, get 1 deal a week. As long as you know what you're getting. As long as you know what you're getting. But these are the methods for an actual ninja. 8 touches, 8 weeks for an 8 and 8. Get that real estate review done. Then grab those names, move them over into your regular database and do flow. A ninja will track 50 live interviews, voice to voice or face to face per week. Make notes on your interactions. Log what you guys are talking to these people about so you know when to call them back. And when you do call them back, you can ask them about their vacation. I sat down with a realtor yesterday that isn't part of our group because I knew they had their first big closing. I knew that they had their first real thing happen, and they're with a different company. I took them to lunch to congratulate them for their first real closing. Guess who didn't do that? Their broker. Yeah. And while we were sitting there, the agent starts asking me questions about how to streamline this, how to do that. What would you say with this situation? How does this work? What's going to happen? Yeah. Yeah. Quote unquote. Man, they don't do any training over there. Quote unquote. Yep. Guess what I gave him? A magic wand offer. You need to use this. I think this will help you understand the residential contract really, really well. It'll help you know what to say to your clients, make you look like an expert. What did I provide? Value. If you provide value to your clients, you attract transactions. You talk to them about Ford. That's a value. That's value. We don't have a chance to talk anymore. People aren't given a chance to talk. Think about screens. Where are our faces? They're in those screens, right? Do you interact with the screen or does the screen interact with you? They just don't have a chance. Write 2 personal notes a day, provide value, care. Do 2 face-to-face meetings, lunch, coffee, drinks per week. Do 2 face-to-face real estate reviews. That's your flow. Guys, this is your feet on the ground, everyday work. Feet on the ground, every day, that's your job. If you don't do this, are you doing your job? No. What are we doing while we flow? Listening for
Pain or pleasure.
pain or pleasure. That's right. We listen for pain or pleasure because pain or pleasure creates a need for a real estate transaction some of the time. We'll talk more about that in a minute. This is your job. This is what you come in to do every day. Next, you have auto flow. While you're out there caring for people and not talking about real estate, you're talking about them. They are getting a postcard, then another postcard, and then a newsletter. Auto flow. This is the oxygen of your business, guys. Flow and auto flow is absolutely necessary for you to not die. This is working on purpose. Okay? Telling them you're a realtor is icky. Them having a 2-second glimpse of a postcard before they throw it away is what you need. I'm still doing this. Hey, that's my friend. He asked me about, would you rather them say, he asked me about my vacation when they throw your card in the mail? Or would you rather them say, man, Jason, why does he keep sending me this stuff? See what I mean? Anybody get those postcards from insurance agents in the mail?
I got everything.
Do you even know them?
No.
You don't even know them. I don't even know those guys. I don't remember who they are right now. If you asked me which agent sent me garbage, I would tell you, I don't know. I don't know. Send 2 postcards a month and 1 newsletter. Newsletter can be emailed. Okay? That's pretty cheap. When you're visiting with someone on your database and you recognize pain or pleasure, this could create a need for real estate, but definitely causes a need for a friend. That's the type of people we are. And if you're not that type of person, I will straight up tell you right now, you're in the wrong place. You're not going to enjoy being with us. We're still going to love on you because that's what we do. But if that's not you, you need to understand that and go to a more transactional brokerage. Because what we do when a friend needs help, you help a friend. Yeah. You can, during that time, provide a real estate review. This is how I do that. Okay. Somebody's parent passed away. I go to the funeral. I send a card. I call. I say, do you need somebody to sit with? I've had a parent pass. Going to quit talking about that now. I started getting emotional. I care for them. And at a time that I think is appropriate, I say, hey, I left something at the front of your door. No, I'm not asking for business or anything. I just think during this time, you might have questions about some stuff. If that poses any additional questions, reach out to me. And if it's not the time to talk about any of that, don't worry. Is that caring? It is. It is. Most of the time, that's the biggest thing that anybody owns, right? Here's what's going on with it. You guys might be talking about how to deal with that. This might help. They do need to be on your auto flow. Okay? They do need to be on your auto flow. Here's what's bad. Here's what's bad. Their dad dies and you put them on auto flow. That's bad. They should already be there. You should already be caring for them as someone in your sphere. Don't start it because something happened in their life. Start it before then. Does that make sense? Okay. Because you're a pro, because you've already set this up. Your warm list turns into your hot list. I like that they call it a warm list, and they don't know this. They don't talk about this in Ninja, but I've started talking about it. It's warm because you treat them with warmth, with care. Okay? Your hot list is hot. While visiting with someone on your warm list, they say they want to visit about real estate. Then you make an appointment to go over the buyer or seller process. Hey, Jason, I really do want to talk to you about selling my dad's place. Okay, I could do that on this day or that day at this time or that time. When they say something like, I want to talk to you about this, and you just start throwing up information, it's much harder than when you go to a setting where you're prepared and in charge. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
You flow to get the appointment. Don't skip the appointment side. The appointment side will show that you have a process and work on purpose. Don't skip that. Review your hot list every day to see who's buying and selling currently with you. If you review that hot list every day and say, if I found the right thing for this person, would they buy today? That's how you want to be talking to yourself through that. Make sense? Step 3, show up. So you've got your plan. Guys, this is your skill set. Your database management is your skill set. You think it's the art of the transaction and negotiating. The real estate documents have that set up so well for you. You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about that. Step 3 is show up. Same time, same place, every workday. Dress as if you're going to accept a large amount of money. Why? You might get to. You might get to. I was talking to Michael yesterday. He was the one that wanted to talk about real estate reviews. We discussed how a buyer of mine, I think they bought their West Fayetteville house in 2014. I think we looked and it was 168,000. Cookie cutter, red brick, 2 bedrooms on one side, 1 bedroom on the other, right? Who would love to sell that for 168 right now? Who wish they would have bought that for 168, right?
Mhm.
I'm working a referral for them, from them that they sent me. And tomorrow we're doing a second viewing on a $1.8 million home.
Oh.
Who's the big one coming from? We want to look at this house for $168,000. Okay. I guess I'll show up in my jogging pants and miss out on that $1.8 million referral. Right? No. Dress as if you're going to accept a large amount of money. Consider the platinum rule. Who knows the golden rule? What's it? Treat others the way you want to be treated. Who knows the platinum rule?
Treat others how they want to
Treat them
be
the
treated.
way they want to be treated. Okay, so show up, same time, same place, every workday. Get yourself in the mood to work by doing the same thing every day. And when you knock that out and you're done, guess what you get to do? Whatever you want. I did the list Jason shared with us. Now I'm going to do whatever I want. Don't get distracted from your agenda. Who gets distracted? All of us. You know, the great thing about that, it means you're social people and you'll be great at this job if you do the job. Your job is to find someone with the need. Staff's job is to help you through the process after you do. Don't forget that. Have confidence in that and go find people with a need. Visit with people, be good to them, and they'll be good right back. They'll be good right back. And we'll help you through the process. And you have nothing to fear. Nothing at all. You know where I was last night? Someone else's listing appointment, getting them the listing. Hey, can you help me with this? Sure. Let's go. What does this mean? The system works if you work the system. It's easy to do, so it's easy not to do. Was all the stuff I said easy to do? Who here does it every day? And I'm not raising my hand. I don't.
If you count the past couple, like past week.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a good weekend, didn't we, Malia? Yeah, with Terry Johnson watching us. Okay. Any questions about what we went over? If you don't know how to do a real estate review, we've got a video online telling you how to do it. We've got stuff you can download, templates. If you don't know how to do a Ford call, practice. Get with somebody and practice. We have.
I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
So is there a substitute, might not be the right word, but is there a substitute for a real estate review if your client doesn't own but rents? Because they can't
Yes.
sell something they don't have. So what do you put in place of the real estate review?
Great question. Let me show you guys real quick. The question was, if your client does not own a home, is there a substitute for a renter to help them? And there is, and I'm going to show it to you right now. In the Google Drive, if you go to S&A Info and you go to Buyer Docs and Tools, right here is something that says, how much can I afford? Download that. Don't enter things here. Okay? If you enter it there, everybody gets it. Somebody went in and did that. So you're going to download that. And let's say that they make $4,000 a month. Let's say that they have a car payment of $450. Let's say they have a credit card payment of $200. And that's all the debt that they have. Well, 42% of remaining income shows that they could do a $1,680 payment. With a $1,680 payment, I estimate that they'd be able to do a $280,000 purchase.
So then do you just fill that out and print it and then take that to your meeting with you? Or how do you substitute it for the pretty professional real estate review?
I would sit down with them with this on my computer. I would ask them the questions. Hey, have you ever thought about what you could afford if you bought a home?
Okay.
And then I would open this and go through it. And then I would print it to PDF and email it to them.
Okay.
Did you have a question?
Well, I'm just wondering, like, if you're meeting with a couple that rents an apartment and they
$850 a month.
This isn't asking what their payment is. This is asking how much they make. So it's considering their debt to income ratio. We can do it in a way of what they pay now. And that way is for every 1,000 that you finance, you're going to spend about $6 a month on. So if you finance $100,000, your payment's going to be 600. Does that make sense? So if you were paying, like you said, $800, 800 a month, if we divide that by $7 or at 6, 133,000 is what they can finance and keep that payment at, approximately. Does that make sense?
They would validate that when they talk to their lender.
Exactly.
have the Pre-approval and all. This is
Yep.
kind of the initial.
This is, hey, this is what you could afford. This is what you could do if you wanted to. Yeah. Yep. You guys want me to make something pretty for this? So you can hand it out? Okay. Okay. I can do that. But you've got the knowledge now. You've got the know-how. So until then, you've got this, but I understand having something to give to them. So yeah, that's what I'd do, Toddy.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I do, that's not related to that.
Okay.
Right now, since there's low inventory and say you have a buyer client that has very specific needs, has a larger family, wants a 5-bedroom, 3-bath, and it has to be like in a specific town. Would you right now ever walk, or how would you walk someone through giving them the option of building on some land and preparing to build?
It's
If
a
they
terrible
have
idea
time.
right now. It's a terrible idea
Yeah.
to build right now. It'll take them 2 years to build something that large. And they'll probably pay, I don't know, probably 25 to 50% more to build than to buy.
Yeah.
So that's my
This
advice
is-
on building.
And then the other side is like there's tension of really wanting something different and wanting more space. And I'm kind of in the middle of, well, let's keep looking, or maybe are you open to, you know, in the country in Benton County, not just the specific town? Would you keep looking on the MLS for other options maybe that she would be excited about, even if it means compromising the specific city she wants?
So the question is, what's your time frame?
Exactly. I don't think there's a huge rush.
So
I don't-
if we're not in a hurry, would you prefer, as the client, as the buyer, would you prefer to wait until something comes up that you want to purchase? Or would you prefer to move forward on something that's currently available? Another question, if we don't find something that you're after, would you consider changing your price range? Another question, if we haven't found what you are after by a certain amount of time, what's your plan then?
Okay.
So we deal as ninjas, we deal with everything in questions instead of statements, right? Who's in charge of the decisions? The client. Who's in charge of the process? So asking those questions to a buyer, if we don't find what you're after by a certain amount of time, what's your plan?
Okay.
Would you raise your purchase price? Would you settle on something lesser? Would you move into a rental? What's your plan?
Okay.
That's where we go with that. Does that help?
Yes. Turning it back into empowering questions, like questions that empower them to make deliberate decisions.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for the good question. Let's go back to this. Is my screen still sharing in Bentonville?
No,
Okay,
We just see the people.
I will fix that.
We're not, I think that was the screen was showing.
All right. There is a Ninja Selling Building a Smart Business seminar. I will be going to this and I will get my VIP seating and a free copy of the Ninja book to give to somebody else. And I will be there. So I hope you guys will too. There is a reason I go to Ninja every year. There's a reason I talk to Ninja instructors throughout the year. It keeps me going. It keeps me focused. I know we talk about Ninja Action every Tuesday. I know we always have something saying this is how we do it and what we need to do and how to move forward. But I see value in it, so I'm going to spend my $100. And I encourage you guys to do the same. And it'd be fun to have a crew. And especially those of us that have been to Ninja that can be proud of it together. So wear your little Ninja lapel pin, right? Represent. Lastly, have you paid your Form Simplicity $25 for the year? If not, please get with Felicia and do that. She has a spreadsheet, I'm sure, that she's keeping of who is paid and who is not. And we will start reaching out to you and bothering you. And that is a waste of our time. Please be responsible and let us work on moving the business forward instead of debt collecting. Sound good? Felicia, anything to add?
No, that's all I have.
That's all you had to add? Pay your Form Simplicity. All right. Tana, anything to add?
nope, I think I'm good.
Okay. And Malia, anything to add?
Nope, I think we're good.
She's good too. All right. Let's see. Let me get 3 people to share the favorite thing we went over today. Rachel loves the calculator. Good, good, good. Something to do with renters to show them what they can do. Good stuff. Anybody else?
Reviewing 8 and 8.
Reviewing the 8 and 8, how it works. Awesome. Anybody else? One more.
Just the overall process. I'm still new to it.
Just a refresher of our job.
Good, good. Jeff said a refresher of our job, and Toddy said the same thing. I'm new to this. Tell me what to do. Good stuff. I appreciate it, guys. You've got your list of to do. I will share the presentation on in PDF, so you can review that in PDF. And of course, it will be uploaded to our YouTube channel as well. And I hope you guys have a killer good week. I appreciate you guys. Take care.
Thank you, Jason.